Hello, I'm Bill Woods and welcome to round 12 of the World Motorcycle Championship. It's the Czech Grand Prix, and while Mick Doohan has already sewn up his 4th world title, there are so many other points of interest, not only in his particular class, but also the 125s and the 250s. The 125s may be decided in this race. Welcome to you, Barry Sheene. First, let's talk about the return of Alex Creville. It's good to see.
Well, it is. You know, I can imagine poor old Alex. You know, it's one thing having a really bad sore finger like he's had, or sore thumb rather, like he's had. But then you've got all the trouble. You have to stay fit while you're not racing. Then you've got the thing, well, have I forgotten how to ride a bike? And then when he gets there, it's been pouring with rain all through qualifying, and he's qualified really very well. Yeah,
it started pretty badly on Friday, but that's to be expected. But up to 7th in final qualifying, which is amazing, really. And what has been a very interesting series of qualifying sessions. We'll have more on those firstly. We'll have a look at the World Championship, though. And the 500s, well, it's all over for Mick, but interesting behind it.
Well, it is. You know, if you look at their Okada, Aoki and Creville, there's a chance that if Alex really goes well in the remaining races, he could end up finishing 2nd, which would be kind of nice for him. Luca Cadalora in 5th. In 6th position is Aoki from Barros, Abi, Charlie Checker and Romboni. There you go. 3rd page is Alberto Puigdemont, Beatty, Gobert, Gibernau and Jean-Michel Bayle. I was just looking there to see, interested to see that Gibernau is just... He's still in there.
Yeah, he's going very well, and also Beatty and Gobert should be a big weekend for them. But first, let's have a look at this circuit, and we'll see that Brno is, well, quite long and very interesting.
Well, it is. It's the old original circuit was a death trap, but they've made a real good new circuit. It's got plenty of runoff space. It's interesting because it goes uphill and down dale. The surface is very, very good. The situation of the circuit, it's closer to Vienna in Austria than it is to Prague in the Czech Republic. And all in all, it's a good place. They really love their motorsport in Czech Republic, not Czechoslovakia.
I mentioned the 125s. Of course, Valentino Rossi can this week do what Mick Doohan did last week.
Yeah. Yes, he can. You know, if you look at the point situation with Valentino, you know, he's way out in front there in front of Nobby Ueda, and as you say, he can tie the thing up tonight. And he's a worthy champion, Rossi. There's no doubt about that. You see Monaco in 3rd, Sakata in 4th. 5th position is Martinez, Tokodomi, Gary McCoy in 7th, and Petit in 8th. It'd be really great to see Valentino Rossi as world champion, because he would do motorcycle racing so much good, because he's literally a breath of fresh air.
Well, I hope we've helped build up his profile a little bit.
I don't think we need to.
Well, he deserves a big round of applause, at least at Phillip Island. He's such a great personality, and that should make the racing even better when it comes to Australia.
Well, you see, at the British Grand Prix, he dressed up as Robin Hood. So now what we go, where's he going to dress up if he
Kangaroo,
wins?
perhaps?
I don't know, kangaroo, koala or Ned Kelly. You know, that's, I suppose Ned Kelly would be the easiest thing.
Well, we'll have a look at the grid now, and I mentioned Gary McCoy. Now, he's had a lot of bad luck this weekend. He just cannot get the bike to handle well on the wet. But anyway, here we go.
There you go. It's Uwe on the Yamaha again. He's a long way in front of Tokodomi is 2nd. Valentino Rossi, the ultimate pro. He doesn't care as long as he's on the front row of the grid. Sada, who's a Spaniard. I thought he was Czech, but he's not. He's a Spaniard. Sakata, Cato, Scalvini and Maturana. 3rd row of the grid is Borsoi, Hules, who's from Czech Republic, Petit and Cecchinello. As far as Gary is concerned, he really... I don't know what's happened. You know, they were complaining about the bike, or rather he was complaining about the bike. They couldn't get it set up, and practice and qualifying has just been a disaster.
And the interesting thing about Rossi, by comparison to Mick, is that he doesn't really worry too much about pole, does he? Or at least doesn't seem to, because he tends to win from anywhere on the front 2 rows.
That's the marvellous thing about him. You know, he's really professional. He's only a young kid, but he gets his bike set up, just makes sure that he's kind of in the hunt in the first lap. And then, you know, at the end of the day, we've seen how good he is. He's great.
Pretty to watch. OK, 250s now, and this is, by contrast, a fantastic championship.
Well, it really is. Harada from Walburn, that's where the race is at the moment. Biaggi's made a faux pas of a couple of races so far, and that's done him no favours whatsoever. Olivier Jacques, I say again, if only he'd have finished the French Grand Prix. Kawa, Loris Caparossi, Aoki and Sujimura. Yeah, it's a funny thing with Caparossi, as I say again, you know, Caparossi, he always qualifies well, and I bet he's really regretting going to the 250 class or back to the 250 class, because it hasn't worked for him.
No, no question. Let's have a look at the grid now for the 250s, and this, well, Volman and Biaggi together.
Well, not exactly the best of friends. Won't be holding hands on the start line, that's for sure. Well, Kawa and Caparossi. See Caparossi again on the front row, and I guarantee he doesn't finish in the first 3. Prove me wrong tonight, of course. Harada, Aoki, Sujimura and Olivier Jacques. That's a long way back for Jacques. He's usually right up front there. Fiorillo, Perugini, Porto, Numata. Don't take any notice of the row 1 thing, that's the 3rd row of the grid. And the Suzuki, you see there, Numata was on the end of the 3rd row of the grid. Suzuki, I reckon, will dump the 250 class at the end of this year because they've come into it. They didn't do bad at the beginning of the year, but they're throwing money at it, and they might just as well throw that money at the 500.
I'm sure Darryl Beattie
couldn't be any worse.